Malcolm had woken this morning feeling light, feeling good. He went through his morning routine, which included a mile jog down the beach and some light upper body work as both Okoye and Kimberly donned their skimpiest bikinis to soak in the sun. At and around that time, Malcolm got a call from Summer in a little bit of a meltdown, realizing she didn't have anything to wear to the dinner party at the Beckhams that evening. Malcolm wanted to present well, and standing with the beautiful woman, impeccably dressed, at his side would do that. So knowing he had to go into the studio for a bit and meet with Nicole, he agreed to meet up with Summer and help her pick up something that coordinated with what he was planning to wear that night. Once he got off the phone with Summer, Okoye and Kimberly questioned if they were invited, overhearing the conversation as well as asking whom this Summer person was, Malcolm sensing a bit of jealousy in their tone. Malcolm then showered, got dressed, and laid out his clothes for the evening. As he left the house, he could hear the continuing grumblings of Okoye and Kimberly as they were not handling the non-invite very well. Still feeling an overall good feeling about the day, he ignored their negativity and headed to the studio. The drive down only continued Malcolm's great feeling with a pleasant drive and a spectacular ocean view. Once making it to the studio, he met with Nicole, who was taking a call with some brokers via Skype looking to break into the film industry. Upon the end of the conference call, Nicole and Malcolm talked about the possibilities of the work, which would still be a few years out as they had a few scripts in development. The meeting of their minds created some interesting possibilities, yet more research on the brokers themselves was needed. The two also talked about the upcoming retreat and when to start making plans. With a wrap on the day's business, Malcolm was still feeling up and thanked Nicole with a hug for her service and then headed out to pick up Summer and go dress shopping, hoping they could find something quickly. Malcolm was right, as after picking up Summer and after visiting 3 boutiques on State Street, Summer had tried on a lot of dresses, but none was just right. At one point, Malcolm slipped away and walked in to his barber shop for a bit of a tidy and lineup. The two men and the other barbers got into a heated debate over the upcoming big fight night to hit pay-per-view. They also shared in some jokes as well as taking in the views of the women that walked by the barbershop's large front window. Upon leaving the barbershop looking good, Malcolm found Summer in the last boutique on State Street, having made a decision, but at the register, her card was declined. She was so sure that this was the dress and embarrassed not to have the funds to pay for it, so Malcolm couldn't ask her to leave without it, so he calmly purchased the dress for Summer, keeping the flow of good vibes going. Then, from leaving the downtown district, Malcolm dropped Summer at her apartment and would be back for her later, hoping she'd be ready as the whole shopping thing took longer than expected. Back at Malcolm's place, he'd find Kimberly working on lines for an upcoming audition by herself on the balcony, while there was no sight of Okoye. So Malcolm freshened up, changed, and selected a nice bottle of vintage wine from his continuing to grow wine collection as a gift to the Beckhams, and was back on the road to pick up Summer. Dreading he would show up and she'd have another crisis, he crossed his fingers. She'd be ready. To his surprise, she was more than that. She was ready and looking amazing, something out of a fashion magazine. He opened the door of his Lexus as they shared a kiss on the cheek, and they were off to the Beckhams. Pulling up to the luxurious estate with valet parking sent butterflies in both of their stomachs, excited for a special night. As David had told him upon inviting him, dinner would be outside with the most amazing sunset either of them had seen. There were some other famous names in attendance like model Ashley Graham, real estate tycoon Linda Cochran, master marketer Gary Vaynerchuk, actress Sanaa Lathan, and film director Martin Scorsese, to name a few. The estate was as marvelous as the dinner and the community of people sharing and talking. Malcolm hung on almost every word from Mr. Scorsese, hoping to soak up any morsel of greatness to add to his repertoire, while Summer vibed with Ashley Graham, who gave her advice as a fuller figure model. Malcolm enjoyed talking with the entire guest, and seeing his beautiful date wowing others with her well-spoken manner and knowledge was something Malcolm would not soon forget. Yet as it came to a close and networking opportunities were solidified, and David took Malcolm aside, dropping him a bit of knowledge himself on Malcolm about his date Summer, he was claiming he had seen her with another man recently, and they looked rather cozy. The good feeling Malcolm had going all day had reached its apex and began to plateau, wondering if this was the producer from Sony, which he knew about, but wished Summer would have told him about it anyway. The day had been fantastic. Summer was fantastic. David was just doing what a true friend would do. On the ride to drop off Summer, Malcolm listened to the excited retellings of the night's festivities from Summer. There was no dispute. The night was incredible. Yet at the drop-off, they talked a bit more, and Summer invited him up, to which he declined. In his mind, the ambiguity of her relationship status demanded it. He didn't want to be caught up in a love triangle, although her body was calling him and speaking his language. They then kissed passionately, and Malcolm watched her make her way to her apartment safely, and he headed home. As the good vibes from the day continued to dissipate at a rapid rate, he thought on the possibilities of him and Summer. By the time he reached home, he had counted them out, caught up in his mind about the unforeseen future, which is why he probably didn't take well to the questions posed to him about the night by Okoye, who was still up reading in the living room adjacent the kitchen where Malcolm was getting a drink. Feeling a bit ornery, Malcolm played with her, getting into her mind, acting sorry for not taking her. They shared a bottle of wine in a moment. The unfettered attention Malcolm was showing Okoye softened her up so much that she begged for more, allowing Malcolm to take her right there over the kitchen counter, ruthlessly